Well, I'm happy to help with your investigation, Detective. I was at that event back in December, and it's possible that Mr. Sparrow was there as well. Darkness came on fast that evening, it being the shortest day of the year after all, so someone easily could have gone unnoticed. As I know nothing of his presence, nor his absence, all I can offer is my recollection of the evening's events. It was December 21st, 2020, at the close of a pretty rotten year, I think it's fair to say. A small group of us had gathered at an outdoor venue in southern Harney County, socially distanced, of course. It was difficult, as I recall, to fight our instinct to huddle together against the cold. You are probably aware, Detective, that the Harney Basin occupies the northern extent of the much larger Great Basin Desert, which encompasses most of Nevada, as well as portions of Utah, Idaho, California, and Oregon. But did you know that the Great Basin constitutes the largest pocket of uninterrupted natural darkness left in North America? The lack of urban light pollution and industrial air pollution, combined with generally arid high desert climate and many high elevation ranges throughout the region, take Steens Mountain as an example, make for some of the best stargazing in the West. And we have that right here in Oregon's Harney County. But I digress. Back to the events of December 21st. We were gathered to witness an astronomical phenomenon the likes of which hadn't been experienced in the last 800 years. Think of it, how different this place was the last time it happened. Surely it was observed by native skywatchers throughout the Great Basin. But this was centuries before European Americans ever set foot on Oregon soil. And what was this celestial phenomenon I'm speaking of? It was the apparent conjunction, or coming together, of Jupiter and Saturn in the twilight sky. The two giants of our solar system merged so tightly, from our earthly perspective at least, that the duo, both planets simultaneously, could be observed through even a low-powered telescope. Not that a telescope was even necessary. It was the brightest thing in the sky that night, plainly visible to the naked eye. It was extraordinary, or dare I say, out of this world. Now, of course, I use that expression figuratively for dramatic effect, but I mean it literally as well. For Jupiter and Saturn lie hundreds of millions of miles from us. Consider this. The Perseverance rover, which recently touched down on Mars, had been traveling for 7 months to reach the red planet. Now, it would take a similar craft more than half a decade to reach Jupiter or more distant Saturn. Now, I've heard it said that given the vastness between cosmic objects, space seems rather appropriately named. Yet peering at those distant worlds, it is ironic perhaps that one actually feels more connected to the larger universe than less so. And who doesn't crave connection these days? So the Great Conjunction reminded us of our cosmic connection, to be sure, but also of our connections with one another. The coming together of those jewels in the night sky brought people together in celebration throughout Harney County and beyond. All of our polarizing politics and divisive rhetoric, which have been magnified by the pandemic, seemed to dissolve that evening beneath such an awe-inspiring display in the heavens. And lastly, the conjunction reminded us of our connection to the very earth beneath our feet, to our home planet. The birds and the butterflies, the rocks and streams, the intricate web between all things. Indeed, the indigenous Paiute, first inhabitants of this land, have always understood the earth as our home. So my sense of connection was certainly renewed by the 2020 Great Conjunction. And I believe that others were likely awed and inspired that night as well. Many of the artworks and artifacts currently displayed in downtown Burns were likely born of such inspiration. Come to think of it, Detective, perhaps you should explore some of the shops downtown and speak with the artisans there. They might have information on Mr. Sparrow's whereabouts. In the meantime, I will continue my own investigation of sorts with my team at Oregon Star Safari, keeping our eyes to the skies. We'll be sure to let you know if we spot him. Good luck, Detective.